President Trump campaigning tonight for Roy Moore in Alabama's special Senate race where voters go to the polls in just 4 days.
We need somebody in that Senate seat who will vote for our Make America Great Again agenda, which involves tough on crime, strong on borders, strong on immigration, and we want jobs, jobs, jobs. So get out and vote for Roy Moore. Do it. Do it. Do it.
This is a race that says a lot about the stark divide in America right now. On one side, a candidate who's accused of child molestation, who faces multiple accusations of sexually abusing teenagers. A man who answered a question about when America was last great, a question asked by African-American voter by saying this.
I think it was great at a time when families were united. Even though we had slavery, they cared for one another. People were strong in the families. Our families were strong. Our country had a direction.
Yes, incredibly, Roy Moore says America was great during slavery. And supporting him, the President of the United States, the man whose history of racist remarks is so incendiary. Two top African-American congressmen, John Lewis himself, a civil rights icon, and Benny Thompson, are boycotting the opening of the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum tomorrow because the president will be there. The congressman saying Trump's attendance is an insult to the heroes of the civil rights movement. Remember, during the campaign, when Donald Trump said this about a black supporter.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Remember when Trump, in an interview with our very own Jake Tapper, refused to condemn KKK leader David Duke?
Will you unequivocally condemn David Duke and say that you don't want his vote or that of other white supremacists in this election?
Well, just so you understand, I don't know anything about David Duke, okay? I don't know anything about what you're even talking about with white supremacy or white supremacists. So I don't know.
And just in case you don't remember, this was back in 1989 when Trump took out full-page ads in New York City newspapers, calling for the death penalty for 5 black and Latino teenagers who were wrongfully convicted in the infamous Central Park jogger case. Of course, you remember what may be the biggest racist lie of all, Donald Trump's support of the false birther conspiracy theory that Barack Obama was not born in the United States. And then there's the president's response to deadly white supremacist violence in Charlottesville, claiming there were some very fine people on both sides.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did.
President Trump slamming Moore's opponent in the race, Doug Jones, as soft on crime. But Jones is a man whose response to white supremacist violence was very different from the president's. Doug Jones prosecuted the last remaining Birmingham church bombers, Klan members, who killed 4 young black girls in 1963 in one of the most notorious hate crimes in American history. A brutal attack that exposed the murderous hate at the root of racism. The Klan murderers were hiding in plain sight for nearly 4 decades, but Doug Jones finally got justice for those 4 little girls. And the best response to all of this may be the words of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Just 3 days after the Birmingham church bombing, Dr. King spoke to thousands of mourners, black and white, at the funeral of 3 of the girls, saying this: "This tragic day may cause the white side to come to terms with its conscience. In spite of the darkness of this hour, we must not become bitter. We must not lose faith in our white brothers. Life is hard, at times as hard as crucible steel, but today you do not walk alone."